Hey everybody, happy Friday. I apologize. I was actually going live in my other page, and it occurred to me that people didn't realize maybe that I was going live on my page, so I don't think I maybe should do that. But next time I will clarify that better. How are you guys doing? How's your Friday? I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to sign on. Hi Lee! If you guys could do me a favor, it's really distracting for me to watch the comments, so if you guys could just leave a message and let me know where you're tuning in from, that would be awesome. It's so good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. So happy it's Friday. My husband and I were getting ready to head to the mountains because we're going to celebrate my birthday. My birthday's on Monday, so today did not start out the way that I thought it would. I woke up with horrible gut pain, and I know I talked last week about how gut pain is related to the Candida and kind of the link between it. And when you're stressed or when you have something big coming up, there is always the potential for you to be able to get really sick. And so I spent the first couple of hours of my morning actually in a bath, or actually it took a detox bath, and just trying to feel better. So I'm here, and I'm just really thankful to be here. I thought that maybe I was going to be done in by the intense pain that I was feeling, but anyway, so this is an incredibly personal topic for me, because I'd really like to say that, I did all these things and, the different things that I talk about, and I'm better and I don't ever have any more problems, but that's just not reality. And unfortunately, our bodies are capable of some pretty crazy things, especially when we're under a lot of stress. And they develop those coping mechanisms for themselves as, kind of a form of protection. And I spoke about that last week regarding the gut stuff. And this week I wanted to talk about depression and what affects most Americans. I would say, I think the statistic was 75% of Americans, 75 to 80% of Americans are on some kind of prescription drug for depression, or anxiety, or some kind of mental related. So Zoloft, Lexapro, Effexor, different things like that they're all under the classification of an antidepressant. And they work different ways. And typically they work by sort of stimulating, basically producing like this false serotonin, which is what makes you feel happy. So serotonin is the hormone that makes you feel happy. And when you don't have serotonin, you typically you have a hard time getting happy. And so I'm going to go back to, and I'm going to try to keep this video between 5 and 7 minutes long, and to make sure that I just really honor and respect your time. And also I have a lot of packing still left to do for Glenwood. And so I'm going to take you back to when I was younger, and I was actually diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, and depression all at the same time. Well, not all at the same time, but kind of in stages. And I remember the doctor always saying that ADD, anxiety, and depression always run hand in hand. And I didn't quite understand that, but now I do. So the good news is I figured out, kind of what the issue is, and they're all related to your mental health. And people that have a Candida overgrowth, and again, if you're just tuning in, I am Sarah Williams, blendedrawmama, and I've begun this health quest in following basically what the Lord has put in front of me to help other people. And so if you guys will just kind of bear with me, I am new to this, so I'm sure I'm going to make some mistakes, but I'm so happy that everybody has tuned in. And if you're live now, or if you're watching the replay, I'd love to connect with you. Just feel free to shoot me an email at blendedrawmama@gmail.com, or you can message me and reach out about what you're particularly struggling with. So going back to how Candida affects your mental health. If you have an overgrowth of Candida, it's an overgrowth of yeast or of the bad bacteria. And this can be caused by a lot of ways, but the biggest way is sugar. And a lot of people don't understand that sugar is in absolutely everything we consume. And I'm not talking about processed sugar, candy, that type of thing. I'm not talking about that specifically. I'm talking about all sugar. So whether it's natural sugar, whether it's from honey, whatever kind of sugar, Candida feeds on it. And what happens is when you have this overgrowth of Candida, the Candida uses sugar to build its cell walls. It builds its colony walls using the sugar. And so what happens when you have a Candida overgrowth is it basically takes over your colon, and it doesn't just end with your colon. It starts to interrupt different processing systems. And the biggest system is your brain. And everybody knows that if you don't have your brain, you don't have anything. People are saying, oh, if you don't have your heart, you die. Technically in theory, but they can keep you alive with a false heart. As people that have been in accidents and whatnot. If your brain goes, you're done. Your brain controls every operation in your body. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that 95% of your serotonin, which is the hormone responsible for making you happy, is produced in your gut. It's in your intestinal tract. And when I found out about that, I realized, oh my goodness, this finally makes sense. I can't get happy because my gut is all messed up. And I apologize. That was my alarm saying to come on live. So apparently I was ahead of the game on that one. So going back to the neurotransmitter, which is serotonin, that's responsible for regulating your mood. When the Candida in your body reaches a certain population, it suppresses that production of neurotransmitters. And a lack of serotonin leads to depression, anxiety, and other mental health problems. And so Candida actually impairs the liver's ability to store vitamin B12. And B12, we don't really need a lot of B12, but when we're depleted of it, we feel low, depression, and other more serious mental health conditions start in. And it's a bad thing. The byproducts of Candida's metabolism they're toxic to us. The waste products, they go through the blood system and they find other areas of the body to invade and make home. And so that's why it's very rare to find somebody who suffers from depression who doesn't have an overgrowth of Candida. And what the health professionals don't understand, and they don't teach you, they just teach you to, again, go back and treat the symptom. I'm feeling blue. Okay, well, let's jumpstart your serotonin. Let's make your give you a dose of synthetic serotonin, and then you'll feel better. No. What we need to be doing is we need to be going to the heart of what is the problem. Because when somebody gets off of that antidepressant, they're going to try to commit suicide, or they're going to go right back to these same patterns. And I can testify that I am living proof of that. When I was 18 or 19, I think I had just broken up with my first boyfriend ever. And again, we always think we're going to marry our first loves. Doesn't ever happen. But I was dealing with an abusive situation at home. I was also dealing with this breakup, and I went into the doctor and I said, hey, I'm feeling blue. And they were like, oh, and they just slapped me on an antidepressant. And wouldn't you know that I took Lexapro? And without checking my family history, without finding out that my sister was on the same antidepressant and had detrimental effects to her, didn't do anything, just slapped me on this antidepressant. And me not knowing any better, I was a kid. I didn't know. My mom didn't know. They just followed what the doctor said. And I went home and I thought about all the ways I could kill myself. And it was one of the darkest places I've ever been in my entire life. And recently, I've just had another bout of really serious depression where I just cannot get happy. And I know I'm in the process of fighting this Candida. And when you start to fight this Candida, I have to tell you that you feel worse at first, because what Candida does is it's a fungus, it's a yeast. And so what it does is it goes through your body and it spreads out, and it just basically releases these spores when you first start to fight it. And it's absolutely awful. I almost had to call the suicide hotline when I very first started fighting this back in April. I've had to reach out to my friends and be like, hey, can you pray for me? Because I don't know what's going on. My husband's been sometimes scared to leave me by myself because he doesn't know, what could happen. And I'm just really, really thankful that I have an amazing support system, and I have my faith to get me through this, because it is really, really hard. And if you're fighting depression, or if you know somebody who's fighting depression, please, 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 please do not tell them to just feel happy. Well, you have so many blessings in your life. Well, you have so many things that you should be thankful for. Just get happy. Why can't you just get happy? Please do not ever tell them that. It is a chemical reaction in your body, and if you have Candida, it is a result of this Candida. Your body is not able to process the vitamin B12. That's what processes it through your liver, and it's not able to process it because Candida impairs your body's ability to store this. And these intestinal parasites, they take B vitamins, and they take other vitamins from our body. They rob us of those bodies, and it breaks down our intestinal wall, and it leaches into the bloodstream, which allows other toxic byproducts from the colon to get into your bloodstream. And it also creates holes in your colon and in your intestines. It creates holes, and that is what causes leaky gut and all of these autoimmune diseases like Crohn's, colitis, those types of things. It's just a gradual wearing down and wearing down and wearing down. And I would be very surprised if those people who are having those autoimmune diseases do not have Candida. There's 150 different health symptoms and health problems that are under the category of Candida. And I'll talk about that later. So anyway, if you guys are just tuning in, again, I'm the Blended Raw Mama, and I'm here for you. I know what it's like to not get happy. I know what it's like for my body, for something to be in my body that is physically keeping me from being happy, causing anxiety, causing depression, causing all kinds of things. And you're not broken. You're not broken, and you're not a bad person. And you need to make sure that you surround yourself with people who are going to love and support you. And if you've never been through depression, there is absolutely nothing like it. Sometimes there are days that you feel like you can't even get out of bed because you're either going to be judged, or when you can't get happy, it's this never-ending cyclical process that says, I'm depressed, I'm depressed because I'm depressed, which makes me more depressed, which makes me more depressed, which makes me more depressed. I love you all. I'm praying for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the other side of 30. This is my last weekend of being 20. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.